Okay, so this is week 13-14 of the Game Mechanics Independent Study Update. I'm just going to show you what's new to begin with. Okay, so we have our character. I've added so that when he kills a character or gets killed, an animation sequence plays where the character falls down. See? And let's wait a couple seconds and fireball. Almost hit it. There we go. See? They fall down, they die. Another thing that I added was when you hit the E key, you get line tracing. And this line tracing is connected to a reference to be able to grab. So, for example, these cubes, if I hold down with the left mouse click, I can, drag them around. I can even check them. And then if I walk over to them, stand on it, and I hold down my mouse, see if I can get one to work how I want it. Yeah, there we go. You can actually fly on them, and you can walk, and you can fire fireballs. So this adds a lot of possibilities for the game. And yeah, so these are the main functions added. Yeah. But there's a couple other things. I have it also so that when your character dies, so let's go ahead and let the character die. If you hit the E key, it turns off the line tracing. So this character, go ahead and attack my character. My character's health's almost out. And see, my character falls down, he dies. You get a menu for play again, and then you can go ahead and restart and play again. So this is a new functionality mainly, which my character just died again because I let him run into too many enemies. But yeah, the line tracing thing has a lot of potential to make a game fun. Being able to control all kinds of objects, and then they have collision events to make them like weapons or a puzzle. This could be a giant puzzle game where you're trying to get through an environment and you have to rearrange things so that you can actually get through. Anyway, so basically how this is done, some of it anyway, is you go to third person blueprint. No, that was something else actually. Okay, so swords character. So go to the swords character blueprint. And we added a bunch of code in here. The main pieces is all this. So basically when we press down the E key, it checks if the E key's been, pressed, and if it has been pressed, it enters this loop sequence, and it checks the vector parameters and adds a grab component. So when I hit my left mouse key, it grabs the objects, and when I release, it releases the objects. So it's kind of like grab and release kind of thing. And we have release component, checking if it's valid, physics, physics handle because I'm manipulating them with physics. And I have it referenced here. So for this group to be completed, this time function is checking the root loop, and it's referencing this here. And it's referencing line tracing essentially. So that those red lines is this piece of code, and controlling the world position and the vector distance, how far it shoots out into the world. And then it's basically on its hit actor, meaning the line goes out, it hits an object, that object changes the color, So it's checking if that's happening, and the object has to be a metallic object for it to create a hit event. So under variables, I created metallic object reference and as a variable type, and applied that to the textures. And then the missive from the textures is the reference for the vector pattern value. So it's kind of like within the textures that this metallic's referencing to know what it can actually affect. And when it's affecting it, changes yellow. Basically, the parameters by which all that can kind of occur is most of the code. Yeah. Anyway, so that's like the gist of the code. And then on the AI character, we have our def sequence animation events that were added, which a lot of this I had to figure out for myself. I couldn't actually find tutorials that showed me where to link things up properly, so I kind of pieced things together for myself. So when my character is losing health and stuff, and his health has gone below 0, equal to or below, we basically disable character controller input, and we play this animation, which is the falling down def sequence, and we add delay to make sure that before anything else happens, you can actually see the animation happen over those 3 seconds. And then we create this widget, which is the pop-up menu that's added to the viewport of the game over, which has the button click for restarting the game. And we give the character his controller cursor back, so he can actually select that. And then so that's for the main character. For the other character, the AI character, basically, when it hits 0, after all these attacks, so each line's a different attack, from my main character, we have, this function that I create called death, and we delay, and then we, play the function and stuff like that. Which I misspelt in one spot because I have 2 different things going on. But this function here is the main one that matters. So basically, disable input, get player character, which because this is in the... because I'm not referencing from here to here with the sword character, I'm just bypassing. I believe that's why, even though it says sword character here, it's affecting the AI character, because it's playing this animation on the AI character. So, it's a piece of code that shouldn't work correctly. I should be referencing the AI, but it's working with the sword's character reference, and it's not disabling the sword's character. So, I think that may be partially because, the sword character and the AI character are essentially the same character mesh that's been duplicated one over to the other, and then color changed, and then naming been renamed, so it could be because of that. They're essentially the same character that's been referenced twice, but with modifications. And that's why it works without having to reference it quite exact. Anyway, so those are the main new functionalities. There's other things, but that's for the most part. So I'm just going to make one more video for you that kind of goes over what I've learned this semester, not so much the small details of the week to week. Anyway, so that's 13-14 week for game mechanics independence